Because when we say God is omnipresent, we're not pantheists or panentheists. We don't believe everything is God and God is in everything, in the sense that if I sit on the chair, I'm sitting on God and my body's God. That would be Hinduism.
Well, let me ask you about that, right? Because in the Orthodox prayer, we say, O Heavenly King, O Comforter, the Spirit of Truth, you who are everywhere,
Yes.
present and filling all
Yes.
things.
Even when we say filling, you have to define that.
Say that again?
You have to define what filling is, because when you use these terms, these are anthropomorphisms to help us get an idea of a being that's unlike anything in creation.
Okay.
See, like here, if I have this cup, it's filled with liquid. So it's filled. But this water is a substance, right? It's tangible. So it can fill something in terms of volume. But God is not a physical material substance. So when he fills us, it's not like you can open him up and you see this material substance that's God.
Right, yeah.
Right? So what do we mean when God fills and he's everywhere?
Well, I mean, I think that God's in the room, like in this room.
What do you mean he's in the room? So if he's in the room, is he the room? Because now when he says he's in the room, then he's not the room. So that means you limit it to his omnipresence.
Okay.
If he's in, that means he's not the room, he's in it. Well, if he's in it, then he's not omnipresent because he's in it.
Huh.
Right? Think about what you just said. He's in the room. Well, that means he's not identical to the room. And if he's in the room, he's not the room, but he's contained in the room. So you just limited his omnipresence.
So, that's interesting, because I hear Muslims say all the time, God is not in the toilet. God is not in the dumpster.
Well, we don't believe that. I don't believe he's in the toilet. Like here, if I believe omnipresence as understood by many, this chair would have to be God and I'm sitting on God, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And this shirt would have to be God, right? Because he's omnipresent, so he's part of everything. So that means we end up becoming Hindus, panentheists and pantheists.
Interesting.
And that means my body is God.
So how do we understand omnipresence then?
When we say God fills you, that is simply the biblical way of saying that God is empowering you and strengthening you to preserve you and enable you to walk in holiness. That's number one. Number two, when we say God is omnipresent, we mean because God by nature is bodiless and shapeless, it is impossible for creation not to be present before him, because only someone that occupies space would be limited to a location so that he doesn't have access to all creation. It's because he's bodiless and shapeless, the entire creation is before him because he oversees and sustains it.
Okay.
Because if he's a being that has a shape by nature, well, that shape would require space and place. So if he has a shape that is something inseparable from his nature, part of his nature, then he by necessity, like the Salafis believe, would have to be located somewhere. So he can't be out there if he's there. But it's because God is bodiless and shapeless, the entire creation is before him all the time.
Sure. Okay.
You want me there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what does it mean that he's in me? Well, he's not in me like water. In me is simply another way of saying he's in fellowship with me, in relationship to me, in union with me, having intimacy with me. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.